Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Spoiler Force Podcast. You can find more episodes on any podcasting platform such as Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to follow Spoiler Force Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch.
Hey, what's up, Ranger fans? This is Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger, and you are listening to Spoiler Force Podcast. Morphin' time.
This is a FlowGasm Beats production.
All right, so this is episode 88 of Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky, and thank you for tuning in. This episode is definitely a spoiler, so if you have not read the Attack on Titan manga, please do, and that way you can tune in and listen to our thoughts on this, on the overall story, and you can listen to the entire episode. Just want to let the listeners or watchers know about this episode. So if you haven't yet, you can skip this episode, but please do read the Attack on Titan manga. And also, I do want to take this time as well. This episode will probably drop around the same weekend as the Attack on Titan season 4 anime review. So I think it'll be a week from today. Today's date of recording is the 10th. So I do want to just take this time and just say a quick word for DMX. Rest in peace to DMX, who's passed. For those of you who don't know, DMX is a rapper. Earl Simmons, someone that's been a big part of my life growing up because my dad enjoyed his music when I was a kid. So I do want to just say rest in peace to DMX and condolences to his family. And I mean, obviously, we all enjoyed his music. Bobby, I know you enjoyed his music as well.
Oh man, X gonna give it to you, man. He definitely played a big role in music, everything. Influential high school, listening to him, Rough Riders, everything. So yeah, it's a very, very sad day for hip hop. So.
And speaking of my guest here, this is my cousin Bobby as well. He's new to the podcast. One of my many cousins from Texas. And for the listeners, if you don't know by now, my family is huge when it comes to just having cousins and aunties and uncles. And so if I could actually have maybe 40 something episodes if I had each of my individual cousins on the podcast. That's how big my family is. But hopefully, if you guys do enjoy seeing my family on the podcast from time to time, let me know in the comments or email me or message me or whatever. But yeah, this week's or this topic's episode for this episode is the Attack on Titan manga review. So I'll just get started with how I started reading the manga. Really, if you haven't seen my post, I made this post about Hajime Isayama, the author, on my Facebook for the Spoiler Force Podcast Facebook page, thanking him about writing the story about Eren who sought freedom and whatnot. And I was actually attending Macomb Community College at the time when I first watched the season 1 for Attack on Titan. I was still, I think it was 2013, early 2014. I was my early 20s or so, and I was at my cousin Lee's house. He's also known as Lemon Dome. If you haven't checked out Lemon Dome's content, please do. But I was at his house. He introduced me to it. He's like, yo, this is the next hot thing. Just watch it. I'm pretty sure you'll like it since it's not typical shonen stuff. And that first episode, I was just hooked. Seeing Eren's mom get killed, and then later on in the next couple episodes where Eren gets eaten, I was absolutely hooked. And throughout my college semester, whenever I had breaks in between class, I found every way to just watch an episode until I caught up. And then, and then from the hiatus that they had between season 1 and 2, I just read the manga and caught up to where it's at now. So for the past 8 years or so, I've read this manga, waited every month for a chapter, and I pretty much advertised this series to everyone that I know that. Always I talk about recommending the comic book saga to everyone. That's how I was with Attack on Titan. I was like, you guys got to read it. It's some woke shit. It's real. It's a fantastic story. And now that it's done, it's about a week or so, it actually ended this week, from today's recording. But it'll be a week when this episode drops. But yeah, man, it's phenomenal. And Bobby, When did you first get into Attack on Titan?
Well, honestly, getting into Attack on Titan was something else. It was similar to you. I had my friend Belky, who was the one telling me like, "Yo, you got to check Attack on Titans out. It's a great anime. It's unpredictable. People you think you're gonna survive die." And so I was like, all right, you know what? Let's check it out. I mean, I still remember the first episode, just seeing the naked dude running at you, like flimsy arms and everything, freaked the shit out of me. Like I was like nightmare for days, and I was like, why are these people just running around naked, like eating other people? It really was traumatizing. But I mean, ever since then, after that, like the one thing I did like about it the most was that, like you said, I told you, it's just it was unpredictable. You didn't know who was gonna die. Like I said, when Eren got killed, I was all like, yo, he was the main character. Like, who's gonna carry this story? You know, they emphasize so much on this guy, his parents, and I was like, oh, I guess it's Mikasa. I was like, damn, they hope they don't kill her. You know. Side note, she is probably my favorite character. But yeah, I mean, ever since then, I mean, I've watched all of season 1, and then, like you said, they went on hiatus for a while, and I just kind of didn't even pay attention to it until it came back for season 2. As for the manga itself, I didn't get into it until this season when you started telling me that, hey, you just got to read it, man, because it gets crazy. Like everything gets crazy, and I'm like, you know what? I can't wait for this to keep going. So after I think I forgot what episode it was from this season, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna read it. And like you said, how far did you get? Did you get to this? And I'm all like, yo, I'm already here. And you're like, damn, you're that far ahead. I like, I'm telling you, when I'm on it, man. I'm just going through them. I'm just reading. I'm reading. I'm like, hey, man. I'll be in bed just scrolling through, and then okay, I'm tired, go to sleep, and then wake up and just read the next few. So trust me, when I get hooked, I get hooked. That's why I told you, like, I don't want to read a manga unless a lot of it's out to the point where I can like enjoy it all the way to the end. Basically, like how this is. Like I caught it right at the end, and had to be impatient for 2 months for the last 2, and then I was able to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So. Same, like I said, Naruto. Naruto was probably the only other one that I read the manga every Thursday. Woke up, I checked on it and read it right before I got up to go to work and everything. So, and it dragged me on because, like you said, you're just waiting. You know, you're just waiting for the next one. And so, like I said, luckily I caught this one at the end, so it wasn't too bad. So,
I do want to just pick up from where you left about Naruto, man. Like I remember those days where me and you used to always like wait for the issue and then, like, did you read it yet? Did you read it yet? It just
no.
It was. I gotta say, like, I haven't been invested into like manga like this since really Naruto and Bleach. Those are the last 2 mangas that I was really into and like delve deep into and being invested in. Attack on Titan was that next big thing for me. Aside from like Demon Slayer and some of the current stuff now that's mainstream, but man, I guess with Naruto I was so like, at least it was just weekly, but with Attack on Titan having it monthly, I couldn't. Yeah. I hated it. I hated it being monthly.
It sucked being monthly, but the cool thing about it was long, so you enjoyed it, and they put a lot of content. Like even this last one, I had to go back and read it like 3 or 4 times just to see if I missed anything, and make out the characters and get the feeling for what they were doing and everything. So I literally finished reading it again just right before I messaged you. So I was like, hey man, I want to make sure I'm on point with whatever I'm talking about and everything. So same thing. Side note, how far did you get in Bleach? I mean, I read some of the manga, but I didn't get that far into it. So
the last arc I read for Bleach was when Ichigo had the Soul Bringer. I think that's what his power was. When he lost his Bankai, and then the next group of people came and gave him like this new power, and then he gained his Bankai back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the last thing I read. But after that, I just dropped it. I hated it. When they went to like the whole Quincy thing, and then Ichigo had like all these powers, and by the time I knew it, they're like, let me just make him Goku, man. Like they gave him too much powers. But see, the only thing I liked though about Bleach was the captains, and I know that we kind of spoke about Hitsugaya and how you don't like how they did Hitsugaya dirty like that.
They did him so wrong. They built him up to this character that's supposed to be like the next big thing, and he can't even beat like side characters, So you're just like, dude, get your life together, man.
I think him and Kenpachi were the only 2 characters that I was really wanting to see after like they picked up the manga again, because Hitsugaya's Bankai was incomplete. and then
Okay.
Kenpachi's Bankai was never revealed, or he never like used it. But then in the manga, they just kind of fan serviced it. I don't know if you read. Like, do you want to know what happened, or do you know already?
I mean, as far as the last thing I read on that anything with Bleach was the I think it was the Quincy's or something. Like they basically, because I guess in the beginning they revealed that they all got annihilated, but then you find out that there's a few that survived, and they go and kill basically all the Soul Reapers or something like that. And so right now they're fighting against them. That's the last I heard about it, and that's why I was asking like how far did you get on it, because I kept trying to read it, but I just couldn't get into it like I would get into other things. So
I think I guess I would just say it, but like Hitsugai's Bankai is like he just becomes an adult.
What?
Yeah, he has like an adult form. But then Kenpachi's I think it's more like, I mean, I don't know. I think Kenpachi's I forgot exactly what it was. If listeners or people who are watching can correct me as well. I think he just goes into like a rage form, like a monster form.
Yeah, because I remember something they were talking about, like you have to be able to talk to the sword, but he would never talk to it or something. And then right when he unlocked it, he was like, "Oh, why is it talking to me?" I just remember seeing a drawing of that, like, "Oh, it's talking," and he's just like, "Oh, this is the power," or something like that. So
yeah, I don't know. I gave up on Bleach. I think honestly, once Naruto ended, I just was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
It was so long and convoluting, but I liked it. I honestly enjoyed it much more because unlike the anime, there was no fillers.
Yeah.
So you were able to get straight to the point with the manga.
Yeah.
And you know, being straight to the point, Attack on Titan is super direct with how they write their stories. And I'm surprised that even now with their anime, there's no fillers, or I mean there's like OVAs and side stories, but they're practically just almost page for page with the manga. Maybe with some exceptions of a few changes.
Yeah.
Maybe some minor changes, but other than that, I really enjoyed Attack on Titan. And what were your thoughts overall as a series? Just overall, what's your thoughts on
overall?
Attack on Titan?
So this is already spoilers, so I can review. I loved it. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, a lot of people don't know, but like the way Eren turned, you know, it's just like he played it perfect. He played it like, I'm gonna do this. I don't care. I'm gonna turn on my friends. And like I know we spoke on it. It was just kind of like I kind of knew he was doing that on purpose. Like he was like, okay, I gotta turn my friends away. I gotta be an asshole. I gotta be that dude that pushes all my friends away so they can hate me. And Mika, since Mikasa is the one that kills him, you know, I believe he truly did it because he knew that in his heart she had to be the one that killed him.
You know, there was a lot of fan theories with how I guess for the anime only watchers, there's a lot of fan theories of how Eren's gonna die or if he's gonna rule. And the thing is, the Ackermans between Levi and Mikasa, I always thought that one of them was gonna go. I was not expecting both of them to survive, but I always thought that it was either going to be Levi or Mikasa that took out Eren, or even Armin, really, because I always thought like Armin was the one narrating the story.
Yeah. No, I mean, technically Levi got taken out. He's just not dead, you know.
He's fucking OP, man.
Dude, but I'm just telling, like, even right now when they're like, because you know where the anime left off, him blowing up, and then Lynn was like, "Is he dead?" I was like, "He gets pretty fucked up though. He's pretty fucked up right now." And so, like, I mean, it's just funny because, like you said, like the anime watchers and not the manga readers, you're like, they're all asking like, "What's happening right now? Is he dead?" Like that's a fucked up way to kill Levi, you know? So I'm like, there's so much I want to say, but I can't.
See, I'm surprised that in the in season 4 they didn't show his like aftermath. They just show him getting blown up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because in the manga we see his aftermath. Maybe like maybe within that same chapter or one or two chapters after. But we do see his aftermath, and it's crazy that Levi survived that at point blank.
Point blank, basically. Yeah. And then even at that, like him to still be able to move and use his ODM gear and everything like that is like, yo, He is OP, but man, he's a G, dude. Don't fuck with the Ackermans.
Honestly, I always thought one of them was gonna go. That's how I always envisioned it, because I felt like they were too powerful as characters.
But I feel that they wrote them that way because, like you said, remember the part at the end where the second to last manga, Levi was like, anybody who can't transform, so the Ackermans and all the Titans that can't basically be affected by the fog, get away. So I think they wrote two Trump players, as you could say, into the manga to kind of give them an edge, and that's how I feel like both Levi and Mikasa are. So they're just that Trump card to keep everyone in check.
Yeah, they I don't know. I like I said, I just felt like it would have made more sense that one of them went, because they're both too. It's like they're like the equivalent to Kaiba's Blue Eyes White Dragons. You know, like they're always going to be super powerful,
super OP.
Yeah, and they're like you said, they're trump cards. They're what's like their power moves, or
they keep everyone in check.
Pro gamer moves. Yeah,
exactly. I mean,
they're really good counters compared to all the other characters.
I mean, just think about it. Like when the season started this year, I mean, Mikasa fucking destroyed the Armor Titan. You know what I mean? Or the Hammer Titan, the Warhammer Titan. You know, and so it's just like, yeah, of course they're gonna be a little OP, and then obviously Levi will always own the fucking Ape Monkey or the Ape Titan. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like they're a necessary. I feel that they're a necessary trump card needed to kind of keep it in check. Because like if they didn't have them in check, dude, I mean, honestly, it would be kind of boring, you know? Like, nobody else is a very good fighting character inside of Attack on Titan besides Mikasa and Levi, so...
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. And the fact that, like, their equivalent, their strength is, like, doubled compared to everyone else's, I think that's what gives them a really good, like, a real good edge, along with, like, the mental capacity of them not being affected by the Titans' abilities, like how Eren can control everyone or turn people into Titans and stuff like that, or how Zeke can do it. Not Eren, but how Zeke can turn people into Titans.
So,
but yeah, I think overall though, this story that Isayama wrote, man, it's fucking fantastic, man.
It really is.
It like I've said before, like I joke about it. It's some woke material because it really does show how crazy the world can be, and how simple things like conspiracies could really affect like people's narrative on life, or even like the propaganda that Gabby's exposed. I know you hate Gabby. I know
but I hate her, but I completely agree. Everybody that I speak to about Attack on Titan, and they say the same thing, like, oh, Gabby's just a victim of, you know, the world the environment that she's in. I completely agree with that. That still doesn't mean I don't like her. I mean, I can't like her, you know. I mean, obviously, it's not her fault, but I mean, do better. I mean, give it, you know, closer to the end, she started realizing it. But I mean, come on, like, I don't know, whatever, man.
Yeah, it's like the real life applications of this story. I love it. It's ahead of its time, really, and it applies so much for what's happening in today's. Like to think like Isayama wrote this story back in like 08, 09.
Yep.
And like 11 years later, it's still relevant till today. Yep. I'm so glad like there's something that folks can actually read, even though it's fiction. There's still a lot of realism in it.
Yeah, it hits on so many different points that you just got to look at it from the outside in and see it. You can see it in today's world going on with everything going on. You can see it. So I mean, you just deal with crazy people and, like you said, conspiracy theories and just assholes and everything. So I mean, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's spot on. Great story, great everything. I think the way it came and ended I liked it. I don't know. I mean, how did you feel about it?
How it ended?
Yeah.
Or I guess for the ending overall, I kind of once they killed Eren, I figured, I was like, okay, I kind of see where it's going. And then did you read this? Did you read the spoilers at all that leaked?
No, I didn't. The only thing that I saw was the one that you sent me, where they showed the last drawing, that panel of the last picture, and it was just like an etch of it or something. So I assumed it was going to end on that, but it was more of like 3/4 of the way, I guess you could say, of the manga.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad like that wasn't like the last panel.
Same, dude. Like I'm gonna like we talked about all the cause like the possible endings, and then like a lot of them made complete sense. Like I thought it was gonna end like that one that you said, that the reincarnation, and so I was like that would be a good way to go, But at the end, I already knew Eren wasn't gonna survive, So once you got that out, you everything else kind of just fell into place where it may be. So I guess the best way to put it is it ended the way it should have ended. I felt that it could, the best way for it, I guess you could say, a happy ending. Which
is true though, because I don't know if it was a quote in the story or it was by Isayama, but I read something on like those posts and they were like, you can't give a horror story an ending or happy ending. A lot of folks thought that was the case. Even if Eren dies, what's the aftermath or the consequences of his actions, or even if he completes the rumbling, he destroys the world anyway. And even in the last chapter, you learn he took out 80% of the population already.
Yeah,
all the forests are done.
Yeah, trampled.
and I guess I guess we can dig a little bit into the chapter 139. Even if Eren was killed, Armin and they all know like there's still people out there that are going to resist them.
Yep.
And I think Eren kind of figured like his real goal was just to save his people from Titans and all that, to just release them from this curse.
Yep.
And I think that was his goal. I think people kind of overthought or overshot his idea of saving the world versus him saving his people.
Yeah.
And I'm at fault for that too. I did overlook that. And when I reread the chapter, I'm like, okay, it makes more sense for him to save his people versus being like, I haven't watched Code Geass, but our cousin Mong does and he keeps egging me to watch it. The character Lelouch or Lelouch or whatever how you say his name, he saves the world in that story by being the bad guy, or like how Itachi attempts to save the world by being the bad guy. Eren just saves his people. He's like, fuck the world, I'm just trying to save my people. So it makes sense that
it's more relatable. I think it's more relatable because, like, I mean, you think about it. Who would? I mean, come on, who would really? Oh, I will sacrifice myself for the world. But realistically, I'll protect myself from my family. I'll sacrifice myself. Realistically. And I think the way that he wrote it was perfect too. Just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna even taking out everybody else, all the Eldians on that side of the world, to give my people more time to recover and prepare themselves. Because correct me if I'm wrong. When I read this, they were building their army still, right? I think they were building something for retaliation.
Yeah, like even after Eren passed, the Eldians all united under that, like the Jaeger faction or something like that.
Yeah.
And, excuse me, they were building up their army because in case there was retaliation from the other surviving people.
Yeah.
And excuse me, I feel like Eren just had faith in his people and Historia and the surviving Eldians or the former Titan shifters to give peace to the world. So I think he left that job for them, which I thought was fantastic. I really like that at the end, Eren still loved his friends and still had faith in them versus just quitting on everyone and like, no, I'm doing this.
Yeah, this is me. Yo, let me take over. This is mine. No,
I really like that.
I did too. I enjoyed the way he wrote it and the way like they scripted it. Even the part where he's like, I do love Mikasa. I want her to think about me. I want her to remember me, while I'm gone and everything like that. It hit to his realism. You know what I mean? You're kind of hitting
that much. Oh, was that? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It made him more human. It showed that side, It showed that side, like, I don't want to die, I still want to be here. I want to live. I want to do all this, but I know at the end of the day, I have to do this. It sucks.
I low key like teared up reading that part.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because like the voice actor Yuki Kaji for Eren, he's so good, and I can see why the voice actor cried for Eren because I guess some of the anime news is like he read he got to read the last notes for Attack on Titan before it was published, and he legit cried reading it. So I can see why he cried for Eren. And when I read that, I almost shed a few tears because like you said, you see the the humanism of Eren and the fact that he's still a young adult.
Yeah.
You know, he knows that he's gonna die. He knows that he can't be with Mikasa. And finally, at the end, though, like I'm not a huge shipper person, but the fact that, damn it, we all knew he fucking loved Mikasa. Like it wasn't not so much that he hated like what he said to her, but the fact is like throughout the entire series, he doesn't show any romantic feelings,
any emotions besides the, you know,
the fucking scarf.
Yeah, the scarf, or just like the fact that he was like so cold-hearted to her. Like, it's your blood. Why do you think your head hurts? You know, because you're fighting your natural instincts to be this person, which, you know, you're not even free. You know, I wanted to punch Eren when he said that shit too. I was like, dude, you're an asshole, bro. Like, come on, man. These are your homies. They've been there for you from the beginning. They saw your mom die. You know what I mean. They've been there for you. And for you to do this shit to them, I was livid too, man. So I was like, ooh. But then, like I said, you know, when you sit back and look at it, and you're like, okay, he's. A lot of people questioned it. A lot of people, me, even like I said, talking to people that watch the anime, they're like, yo, dude, what the fuck's going on with Eren? Like, is he an asshole now or something? I'm like, he, like you said, he turns pretty bad, dude. You know, he fucks things up, but at the end, you know, he redeemed himself. So
yeah, I think Eren's like I know people like to compare him to like Light Yagami and the main character from Code Geass, and the fact is like I like Eren's character because he's just so youthful. Like there's like I guess just looking back at our lives and being that youthful, there's like an innocence to it with him dying so young like that and being a martyr versus him, let's say like versus like Levi, who's an adult already, who's experienced life and who is willing to die but can't.
yeah.
but Eren on the other hand, he had so much things that he really wanted to do. Again, he wanted to be with Mikasa. Even in the alternative timeline that they showed, when he ran away with Mikasa, there was inedible I can't even say it right. There was a impossible route of him dying due to the curse. And the fact is that like even if they ran away, Marley would have still attacked them. They still would have died. Nothing would have happened. Like nothing could have been saved. And I just feel bad for him, man. Like you just see how much he knew what he had to do to save what he wanted to cherish. And I really like that, you know, at the end where they use the bird to symbolize Eren, and that right there, once they kind of did that at the ending of the manga, I'm like, man, you think back to the beginning of the story of the manga or the anime, and even all the openings of the story, like because I told you to kind of keep a close watch on the openings for Attack on Titan, how there's like spoilers or like metaphors there. Like there's always birds, there's always wings, there's always like something in there, and I guess like showing or using a bird to represent Eren to be truly free. Man, that's some like heartstrings pulling type shit. Like, I really enjoyed that Isayama using that as a representation for Eren. And I guess like for the last part, just seeing how Mikasa was dealing with Eren's death. Do you like that Mikasa was by herself now, or do you think she should have? I guess in a way, do you feel like she should have been with someone at the end?
Nah, I like the way it ended or her by herself, because the whole storyline, she was by Eren's side the whole time. You know, so to make her, let's just say, go with Armin at the end or anybody at the end, I feel it would have ruined the story. You know?
Oh, that'd be such a low blow. She was
really
with Armin.
Like, yo, I'm ride or die with you, Eren. Oh, you dead? What up? You know?
Oh my god, I would be so pissed. Like Armin,
next, yo, you know, like, it's so weird. You know, like I feel they did justice to it. You know, they kept it true. You know, it shows how much she loved him and how much she's willing to go through it. Like the one question I was going to ask you about it, you know, the part where in the manga where Eren and I can't even think of his name now. Eren and
Zeke?
Armin. Eren and Armin were talking, and then they're all like they're talking about Ymir, and then like she went through all this for King Fritz, but she realized something, and it was Mikasa. So I'm assuming she saw a side of her inside of Mikasa. Is that how you interpret it, or?
And see that's okay. Before we get into like, because that's one thing I wanted to touch
okay.
on, like on certain things. So no, it's fine. It's great that you brought it up. It's like certain parts of again, this anime is not perfect, but I thought overall it was great. But there are plot holes or plot points in the story which I'm like, damn, they could have wrapped it up better. Like the fact that they just like Ymir just loved King Fritz and that was it. And there's no explanation. Like even Eren was like, I don't know why she felt like that. She just did.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of, in a sense, I kind of see it. You see the type of love Ymir had for King Fritz. I'm assuming is a reflection of Mikasa and her love for Eren. You know, it's blinding, I guess you could say, to the point where even though he's wrong, like when him and Armin were arguing, and she stopped him, you know, from hitting. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's kind of similar in a sense. That's how I took it, and then but then it's just very confusing that to me that when they're in that dream world or whatever, and then she's all like it was Mikasa, and I was like, wait, so is she saying that she saw a part of Mikasa in her? That's why she allowed Eren, or
I think maybe Ymir kind of, in a sense, I think Ymir did see a part of herself in Mikasa, seeing that someone who was willing to die for their loved one.
Yeah.
But I think the difference was the fact that Mikasa couldn't be affected by the Titans. So I feel like you can't really like we were saying earlier with Levi and Mikasa, you can't predict them. They're on their own.
Yeah,
they're in their own league. So I think with Mikasa, I think the fact is that like I guess the fact that she was willing to kill Eren. Like she knew she had to kill him.
Yeah.
Regardless of how she felt. And I think that's what something Ymir, the original founder, I think that's something she couldn't do.
Yeah.
Which is like she was trapped in the paths all those years, for 2,000 years. Because she was still, I guess she loved Fritz so much that she stayed in the paths, versus Mikasa, she chose to, out of her love, she chose to get rid of Eren and kill him. So I think that with that spectrum, I think Ymir. That's why I think that's why in chapter 138, Ymir was like creeping in the back. She's like you know, she's like, yes,
yo, what you doing there? Need some help over there?
Right. It's kind of like seeing the river card in poker when you like see your winning card. She's like, yes, you know, like it happened.
Yeah,
just like. I kind of wish they touched up more on that though. Like she was just creeping in the back, and then that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll in the anime they'll go deeper into it. But yeah, there's a bunch of questioning that I have. So like another question I have, like if Levi and Mikasa aren't affected by the Titan's powers, how does she not remember all the talking that Eren did? Whenever, because I'm assuming he wiped Armin's memory, right? When they had all that. And he's like, "Oh, you'll remember it once you kill me, or something."
I think with the paths, I don't think Levi and Mikasa are affected by it. Okay. At least I don't think so.
That's what I assumed.
Because there was that one point when they were on the ship and everyone was in the paths with them, like Reiner, Annie, and all of them. They were all together, and then Eren was talking to them. I don't recall if anyone's listening to this episode, please correct us too. I don't recall. Damn, I should have went back and read it. But I don't recall Mikasa or Levi being able to hear Eren or being in those paths. But I don't. I think just being Ackermans, I don't think Eren could reach them or affect them like that, since they can't turn or
since they can be affected by it. So I guess that's what confused me a little bit too, was the fact that because at the end when she was carrying his head, she was just kind of like, okay, you remember everything now, don't you? Or after he did their flashback or whatever, and Armin came to normal after they killed him and everything. So I assume that she was affected by the mind wipe too.
If anything, I feel like she probably remembered an alternate timeline or something.
Oh, okay.
Because her headaches, like she.
Oh yeah, she kept having those headaches too.
Yeah. So her headaches were like I guess like the split times of what Eren's choices were, because obviously she was the one that was next to Eren the whole time. So maybe there was a timeline where Eren told her what he wanted to do or something. I could be wrong, or I'm just assuming or making theories here. But yeah, I just felt like with that too, with the multiple timelines of Eren and Mikasa, I think that would actually be a pretty great like side story of like. Because in the anime Ray Zero, I don't know if you've watched that one, but there's like alternate or there's like side books or chapters of like the characters' different timelines, because he dies and comes back to life, and so there's like he has all these choices that he makes, and there's like alternate timelines, and they kind of just dive into those choices. So I kind of would like to see if there was any other choices Eren made throughout the series versus just having the one where him and Mikasa ran away.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's, like we said, there's so many things in the ending or in general, just this anime and manga that were so left off that kind of questioned. Like Historia's kid, like they made a big deal out of her being pregnant and everything, but it really wasn't much.
Oh yeah, that was. How did you feel about that? Because the whole time I thought it was Eren's kid.
I was right there with you, and that would have been the best plot twist. Like seriously, like. But then again, it would have made him look like an asshole to Mikasa and everything like that. Like I said, when you sent me those theories, and I was like, you know what, this does make sense. Like, I mean, because like the way they touched on it, it wasn't important. Like they briefly touched on it. Oh, she married a farmer dude, had a kid with him. He's a nobody. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously it's not important. But why would they bring it up then? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I always felt like, because I know that it was supposed to be a part of Zeke's plan, like to
to carry
on like the Titan powers, but to not have the Eldians produce. Still, it was just to have the royal bloodline
gotcha
existing.
Gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
I always felt like maybe that was a part of Zeke's plan, and obviously we know, for at least the manga readers know, that Eren did not agree with Zeke's plans. He actually went against it. He just needed Zeke for his powers.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's why I felt like it was Eren's kid, though, because I think he knew, like, if anything, I feel like Eren would have took that risk and be like, all right, if I die, then what if I could like give that kid my power, or like not even, I mean, even he might be even dead, but like maybe just, I don't know, like how they did with Ymir, like just save a part of Eren and like, all right, we're gonna feed this part of Eren to the kid or something, so that kid can have his powers.
The cycle never ends even after you're gone, Eren.
I thought, honestly, because like the thing is, they do kind of tease you, right, with Historia and Eren's
whatever it is, like
whatever sexual feelings they have towards each other.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, that one video you sent me where they're like, he only smiles around Historia, which is true. I was like, I've never seen him smiling around Mikasa or anything like that. And then for him to confess his love for her at the end, I'm like, yo, if you loved her, you treated her like an asshole, bro.
But see, the thing too is though, like I would like, me personally, I would have liked to see if Historia and Eren had a thing, but at the same time, I kind of forgot, like, too, that Historia and Ymir, they were a thing too, and so low key, I think Historia maybe could have just been an openly gay character versus like someone who would just be with Eren. Yeah. I think honestly, she only did the thing because they were going with Zeke's plan until. But see, that's such a terrible plot twist. I think it was just made to it was just a divisive story plot, like just to throw us off.
Yeah, I mean, if they did, they sure did throw us off a lot, man. Like, there's a lot of those conspiracy or those theories out there. So, I mean,
what's fucked up too is like, because she was given birth when Eren starts the rumbling, she's giving birth.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean. Like, okay, Ymir may be coming back now, reincarnated, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions around. So,
did you have any favorite moments overall, like, of the story?
Oh man, all in all, or just at the end of the manga?
Just, I'll say just in general, just in
general.
Like, you don't need to go deep dive into it, but like just kind of name off some of your favorite moments in Attack on Titan.
Oh, dude, I think like when Levi attacked the Beast Titan head on, like, or from the side, I guess you could say, when what's his name, the captain charged. And then,
when Erwin sacrifices those scouts.
I think that was such a G moment, like, yo. And then I was like, dude, just kill him, man, like, come on. And then you could just see his like knowing after he got away, he fucked up. You could see in Levi's eyes, like, he's just like, I fucked up, like, I had my moment right there. And then even when I guess continue on to that, when Armin sacrificed himself, and then that whole figuring out who to give the shot to and everything. I think that was like, dude, what would you do in that situation? You know, shit like that. And so, I mean, the smart choice would have been to revive the captain, but I mean, the future is Armin. So yeah, it's just I don't know, man. There's a lot of good points in the movie, but most of them are from all the fighting. So in my opinion, so I mean, it was great.
For me, some of my favorite moments was definitely season 1 where Annie wipes out Levi's team.
Oh yeah,
I still go back and rewatch that scene a few times. It's just that was one of the very few moments in anime where I there was hope. Like it's Levi's team. Like they're the best. Like they're really like the best supporting
and they're
team.
Confident too. Like they walk in there like trust us. You know, what's his name? Eren is just like, I want to turn. He goes, no, you gotta trust us. I'll die anyways.
Yeah. Dude, I was in my library at the college I was at when I watched that scene, and I literally got up and like was like, oh my god, and people were like looked at me like I was crazy. I had to walk out.
Oh man, no, dude, even this season, the thing that tripped me out the most too is that I think you talked about it once when Zeke just starts running away. Like I was laughing my ass off. I was all like, yo, this guy's really running. And he's just like,
he's like, why is he running like that?
And then when he turned everybody, I was all like, oh shit, man. I felt bad for Levi there too, but man, that was just fucking edgy too. And he's all like, why don't you just leave me alone?
The video I sent you, it was like with the SpongeBob music too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it just made it that much funnier.
But
like, Levi just like sipping his tea, staring at him like, what's he? What?
Why is he running? Where are you going?
Man, that was good.
Dude. That was a good one too. But yeah, I mean, all in all, like I think every season had a great point to where I enjoyed it, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's just hard to pinpoint like a lot of them. So
like another good one was season 2, like when the reveal, Eren, Reiner, and Berthold's reveal. Dude, like in the manga, like I loved it in the manga. It was just so casual. Reiner just goes up to him and he's like, me and Berthold are the colossal and armor titans. So just come with us. In the manga, like the way how they just draw it out in the panels, it's very casual.
Yeah,
he literally just walks up to Eren, just like, yo, we're the Titans. We knocked on the wall. We killed your mom. Let's go.
Yeah, but even in the anime, they did it. I think they did it great in the anime too, because like the Connie or not Connie and them, Mikasa and them are walking away, and then they literally, hey, we need to talk to you, and then he goes, me, we're the Attack Titan, or we're the Titan Colossal, whatever Titan. And I remember when I went back and watched it the second time, I was like, whoa, the way they revealed it so nonchalant, just kind of like. And then Armin or Eren is kind of like, you're crazy, yo. Like, what's wrong? You guys have been, out here too long and all this stuff. So, yeah, I think that was the way they revealed it to them too. That was a great thing.
No, with the anime counterpart though, the reason why I like the anime one so much more was that fucking music.
Oh,
that made a huge difference in the reveal, because like. I guess that's one plus I give to the Attack on Titan anime that it has over the manga, is that their music is fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it builds you up, man.
Exactly. It's so tense, and like where just again like when after that reveal when Mikasa attacks them, and then Reiner tells Berthold like, come on, let's go. Like they transform, and then it's just so intense, and then you see Eren get grabbed, and he's crying and shit. He's like, you fucking traitors. I wish he said that in the anime though, because in the manga he says you fucking traitors.
Oh man.
Yeah. So they should have gave him the F-bomb in the anime. Like they would have made it much more emotional.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot they could have done in there to bring out more emotions, but I think the way they did it was perfect for, I guess, kids.
It had to be kid friendly in a sense.
Yeah.
Can't be dropping F-bombs and shown in anime.
But yeah, they have big giant guys biting heads off of people and everything.
Right, I know that's messed up. Like it's the same thing like how we watch movies. We could see people get killed, but they drop one F-bomb, and it's like, oh my god, the world's ending.
Yeah, you see the mega drawings for the other countries where they have to censor the crotch out is they give them underwear.
Oh yeah, in the Philippines.
Yeah, the Philippines or other places. It's just funny, like yo, running around in your underwears.
Do you want to start your own podcast? Then sign up with Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has helped hundreds of thousands of users to begin their podcasting journey. With easy-to-use tools, you can effectively get your podcast onto many platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and more. You can view stats, create audio clips, and even have your own podcasting website. Buzzsprout also offers ideas, tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you improve your podcast. Follow the link below, and once you sign up, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card. This will let Buzzsprout know that I sent you and also support Spoiler Force Podcast. Happy podcasting. If you're into anime, manga, or anything that's from Japan, Otaku Detroit is the place for you. Located at 513 West, 11 Mile Road in Madison Heights, Michigan, you can find a variety of manga books, anime figures, collectibles, posters, snacks, and even authentic items from Japan. Stop on by to see store owner Matt and let him know Spoiler Force sent you. I think even like in season 4, like where Eren attacks Marley, they even like cropped all the jaw titan and all of them too. So it looks like they're wearing underwear, like or granny panties and stuff like that.
Dude, have you? Okay, I don't know if you've done it. I did it though, but after watching like the first a few episodes of the new season, I went back and rewatched the whole thing. It made a lot more sense knowing kind of what was going to happen, type of thing. It just made sense how Berto and Reiner were acting and Annie and all of them. It all fell into place a lot better once I understood the storyline and what was going to happen. I don't know. Have you tried going back and rewatching all of them, or?
I did that once I was like caught up on the mangas to a certain point. Like when the manga portion came out where Reiner was telling his story, like where how Marcel and all of them went, how they got to the wall. And then after Marcel died and Reiner, Annie, and Berthold completed their mission, when that part of the manga was released, I went back and rewatched Attack on Titan, and it just made so much more sense. Like even or at least in the anime, because honestly, I forgot to mention this to the viewers because I didn't read Attack on Titan when the anime first came out. So comparing it to what they revealed in the show, like even if you go back to season 1 after Maria, Eren's hometown gets knocked down, you see a young Annie, young Berthold, young Reiner amongst the crowd.
Yep.
And in the manga counterpart, like Berthold, Reiner, and Annie, they knock down the wall and they de-transform and hide amongst the crowd. So it made a lot of sense to see that. And then even especially with Annie's character, like when you see the Marco reveal, like where they killed Marco.
Oh yeah.
So like you kind of just see her character, her sneaking around at night, and I think they showed it in the anime, right, where she was walking around and like how she ran into Kenny Ackerman and he almost got her, but she ran away.
Yeah.
And there's this these 2 manga books called or 2 manga side stories of Mikasa and Annie, the Attack on Titan Lost Girls manga. I have it. It's literally in my living room right now, but I don't know if you read it. They're called Attack on Titan Lost Girls, and it's just the side stories of what Mikasa and Annie were doing during their time in between the seasons. And I guess with Annie, she was, and this is why I love Annie. I forgot to mention like why she was one. We'll get to favorite characters in a moment, but Annie's one of my favorites because of how dedicated she was to being a warrior. Even though she wanted to go back home, she did everything so that she could go back home, to have a reason to say, hey, I did this already, so let me go home to my dad. And that's why I like Annie's character, because she stayed consistently just devoted to their mission. And she honestly worked her ass more than Reiner and Berthold, really. Those 2 fuckers did nothing besides hide behind the wall and become fake soldiers, while Annie was being like the espionage scout, walking around and trying to find where the founding Titan was and stuff like that. So I really like her character, and you see that she's not a bad person either. She did everything so she could just go home, and even when that moment where they were where they essentially killed not Berthold, but essentially killed Marco, she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to take the ODM gear from him. She didn't want to leave him, but it was Reiner's dumbass who was like, get rid of him. And then after he gets eaten, he's like, oh, why is Marco getting eaten? That motherfucker. And that's one thing why I don't like Reiner. Reiner's one of my favorite characters too, but that was one thing I hated about Reiner was the fact that the dude was so psychologically fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like you said, that's one of the good things about Reiner too. Is just that he didn't know what he was doing. He's basically a schizo, like he had one personality, and then when he needed to get mission ready or whatever, he went to the other personality, and so he literally didn't know which one you were gonna get. I mean, I don't know. They all should have died, in my opinion, but it's all good.
Yeah, I know you don't like the Marlene Eldians, and
hey, man, they started it, man. That's I'm like, you know what? I don't feel bad. Eren, eat those kids. Like, hey, it would have happened. You just left Eren alone,
Okay, so I guess we could just dive into. I mean, because there's so many great moments in Attack on Titan. Like we said, there's where Levi fights Annie, or when the Levi team gets wiped out, to the reveal and betrayal to Levi fighting the Beast Titan in season 3, and Armin being chosen as the Colossal Titan. Where I guess throughout the show, obviously they show moments of each character development, and I guess who was one of your favorite characters? I know you mentioned Mikasa earlier, but was there anyone else in the core group of characters that you liked watching?
Well, like I said, Mikasa was my favorite character only because, well, one, she was a badass, and two, she just had that. I mean, she had, I guess you could say, that very puppy dog feel, like, oh, I'm here protecting you, you're the one protecting me, so I have your back. And the loyalty that she has, I think that's the one thing that I loved about her. It's just that she was loyal to the end, even though Eren was an asshole to her and treated her the way that he did. At the end, she knew, like, in her hearts of hearts, like, hey, I'm still here, I'm still your ride or die, I'm still with you. So I think that's what tugged at me the most about her, the fact that she was badass and she stayed true to the end. Besides her, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, outside of her, it goes to either Levi or fucking Eren. I can't stand. I don't know. I can't really.
You didn't like Hanji or Erwin?
Sasha was cool. Hanji was pretty cool too. Yeah, Hanji, actually, I would have to say Hanji. Her weirdness is what was pretty cool. Like her infatuation with Titans and studying them, and the way she tortured them, and like, I'm so sorry, and all that stuff.
Not since we're talking about Hanji, did you like how she went out?
Yeah, she went out like a G. She went out gangster style, so I liked it. I mean, it sucks. I was hoping that she would somewhat survive that, but I knew that she wasn't going to. So
I felt bad for Levi when they wrote that part, because she was like the only thing he had left.
Yeah, of the crew.
Yeah, that was his last, I guess, totem.
Yeah, his last friend. Yep.
Yeah, and she went out, and I felt bad for Levi. He's like, all right, he's like, goodbye, Hanji, and
even how they did Connie and all the right before they they turned. I was like, oh shit, that's a shitty way to go, man. Like, just to transform into Titans like that, that's a very shitty way to
go. We'll touch up on that later.
Yeah,
on the ending. But for me, some of my favorite characters, besides like the main three, Annie and Reiner were some of my favorites. Annie, because of how skillful she was, and just the layers of her character. Just someone being so cold and looks like dead in the face half the time, and has no remorse or what seems to be no remorse towards her comrades or the people that she kills. And then you just see like this sensitive, humanized side of her, like where she didn't want to do any of this.
Yeah.
And at the end, like especially with the connection with her and Armin, which I enjoyed a lot. I thought they should have been a thing, because like I felt like she liked Armin more, but she even like questions Armin and Mikasa, like their morals. Like, if it came down to it, would y'all kill him or kill Eren? And because if you don't, then I'm probably gonna do it. Which
Yeah.
that was the one before like they got more in detail toward the end. I kind of figured, I was like, man, maybe it's Annie that takes out Eren, because they had a connection too. That's the thing. Annie and Eren had a pretty close connection in season 1. Besides fighting each other, like these two had like some sort of mutual respect towards each other.
Yeah, they had a rivalry too. I mean, they fought each other as Titans too. So
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that too. But like you said, the way the story was written, it had to have been either Mikasa or Armin that had to do it. It had to be, because the friends. You know what I mean? Like that's a good way to take them out.
And then for Reiner, I know you don't like Reiner.
I hate Reiner.
But Reiner, I really relate, not in the psychological sense, but I relate to Reiner's character because of how he wants to be more than what he is. Like he has, like Eren, he has this super motivating factor. Like he has to break out of what's, I guess, like a glass ceiling to him. That he has so much to prove to people or to the world outside that he's something he's something. And that he's of value. And I really like what they did, especially with him and his. I'm really close to my mom, so like seeing him, like like I'm gonna be a soldier, mom. I'm gonna be something. I'm gonna get us out of here. Like I really related to that. And then like just he even though he sucked, that's the thing I like about him. He sucked compared to the other candidates. And even Marcel was like, "Yo, I already picked you because I was saving my brother. I didn't give 2 shits about you." That type of shit. But then he has like this leadership quality too, though. Like when shit got real, Reiner knew what to do. He was like, fuck it, we're doing it. Like even though he kind of like snaps in and out, like he has that mentality of like, just I gotta do it, and it'll be at any cost.
Yeah,
but. I think, but the one thing I really enjoyed, and I think that's why Isayama kept this fucker alive the whole time too, was the redemption quality of Reiner. Like this dude practically redeemed himself from the beginning to end. Like even though he was a dick, he fought with the Eldians, and he stayed true to his word. Like he didn't betray anyone anymore. He stayed and fought, even at the end where the manga, where the source of life or that centipede thing came at, he stood by and
fought it. And
so I really respect Reiner's character for that. That's why he was one of my favorites. And then maybe like again, Sasha was one of my favorites. Her death was fucking sad. I didn't like that she got taken out by Gabby, but I don't know if you know this, but originally she was supposed to die back when she saved that girl from the Titan. And
was she? No, I didn't know that. I think they kept her alive. She was a good character.
I think I might be butchering it, but I think Isayama originally wrote her to die in that scene, and an editor or another writer of the team cried reading that, and because of that, Isayama was like, "All right, we'll just keep her alive until." So she was destined to die anyway. But
still, she was a good character. She was one of my favorites. Just side characters that wasn't a main one that you paid attention to. So, I mean, even in the manga, the part where I can't, because I went back and read a few of it when they were sitting around the campfire, and Reiner was confessing what he did to what's his name, the one where they took the ODM gear away.
Oh, Marco,
and then what's his name punched him in the face. I was all like, "Fuck yeah, somebody's got to punch him."
John, right?
Yeah, and I was like, "Beat his ass, dude!" Like, fuck, man, somebody had to do it, Like, even. This season, I respect Reiner a little bit more because he kind of owned up to it. Like even when Eren showed up, he's all like, "What are you doing here?" Or like, "It's my fault. I fucked up." He felt the weight of his consequences of everything that he was doing happening right there, and he knew he fucked up. Like he should have just cut loss and went home whenever they started that mission when they lost their first friend, but he knew that he fucked up whenever all this shit started happening. So you feel that. I love the way that they portrayed it too. Like you feel the weight of the world, I guess you could say, happening to him, hitting him, and he's like, shit, this is gonna happen here at my house, So
yeah, I mean, he knew it was gonna come back. I guess the fact that was like knowing that. I think what really burdened him too was knowing that Falco was in the room with them too.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that kind of concerned him. He's like, yo, like we can't, you can't leave because Eren's gonna fucking turn. So you gotta hear him out.
Like, isn't this your friend? Like, no.
I think one character though, like I want to just add one more character that I enjoyed was actually John. His character development was something that I, in a sense, can relate to as well. But like you see the growth of his character. I really respected his character growth back in season 3, where when Armin choked and Armin's like, "Yo, I can't," because when they're cornered and they got to fight the Colossal.
Yeah.
So when they're cornered like that, and Armin was like scared shitless.
Yeah, he couldn't think of a plan or anything.
Yeah.
He froze.
So he's like, John, you do it. You think of something, and that's where I really respected John. I was like, yo, this guy is a fucking leader too. He thought on the spot, and I really enjoyed that, his growth of as a character. Because originally, back in season 1, he wanted to just be inside of Wall Rose.
The cops.
Yeah, they be highly paid and just live for free.
Yep.
But then him and Marco's relationship, he ends up being a scout. Then him losing Marco, he kind of just realizes like, it's not a joke anymore. And then just seeing his relationship with Connie and Sasha, like I like that trio. And especially, just even before Sasha died, like the fact that those 3 came together and they're like, yo, we survived this one. I'm glad that we're together. And then up until Sasha's death.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't know.
Yeah, so those are some characters I liked. And for listeners, if you get to this point of the episode, please let us know who your favorite characters are too, because I would love to read it in the comments or message me or email me. All the contact stuff's in the description or show notes as well. But yeah, on to this next topic, man. I guess let's just dive into the ending now, just for Attack on Titan. I don't know where to start exactly because there's so much to go into with. Do you just want to start off with how Eren did the rumbling then, or just based off chapter 139?
It don't matter. Whatever you feel like. I mean, if we go for the rumbling, that's fine. But if we want to just talk about the chapter, that's cool too. So,
okay, I guess we'll just go with the last chapter because this is the most recent one. It's still the most fresh in my head. So, chapter 139 starts off with with the aftermath of Mikasa cutting off Eren's head, and that's back in chapter 138 for the listeners who don't know. Mikasa cuts off Eren's head, and pretty much that ends the rumbling. And the chapter prior, everyone got turned. The source of life that Reiner was fighting, or that centipede-like creature, unbanded from Eren from the explosion of Armin being the Colossal Titan. And so it did the smoke thing, or like the similar technique that Zeke spinal fluid can produce, and it turned everyone into Titans. So Gabby got turned, Reiner's mom got turned, Connie, Sasha, all the Eldians got turned.
Everybody that's not Ackerman or a Titan already got turned.
and so they all got turned. And then towards, again with the aftermath, after Mikasa cuts the Eren's head off, they all turned back human. That was something I did not expect to happen. I thought that maybe they were going to get, it's like kind of like Star Wars type shit where they, like in the episode 1 where they stop the thing and everyone dies kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I thought that was going to happen, but I was surprised that they all survived that. And just to see that, the chapter 139 just starts off with the aftermath and just not Reiner, but Armin and Eren in the paths, or in that world, and they're just talking from youth to an adult, and just kind of not over explaining, but just overviewing the events that's happened, and it just connects back to a moment into the previous chapters where Eren does bring everyone to the paths and they're on the ship and whatnot. But I really enjoyed like this final moment with Eren and Armin, knowing that even at the end, Armin stuck by Eren, and he refused to let Eren go. At least in his mind, he refused to let Eren go through with his plan. He was willing to die with Eren, and I really liked that Armin was the one, doing the fighting, and it shows a lot of his character because from the beginning he was such a pansy,
No, I completely agree with you. Like the way that they portray, because like it, excuse me, it goes into like how he's asking questions of like, why'd you do this? Why'd you kick my ass so hard? What, why? And then he's like, I had to do it, make you guys look like the good guys, and then he's like, I understand. And then, you see that side of him. Cause like you said, besides Mikasa, he's the one that's been there for him. And so for him to be with him in the end like that, it's just perfect, like that perfect touch.
And I really enjoy just like how much they've grown together. Just seeing like even throughout the chapter or the panels where they're talking, like they finally saw lava, like how they always envisioned or how they always wanted to when they were kids. Like like the water that's flaming red
fire.
Or something.
Yeah.
So like they saw the sand, they saw the ocean together, they saw lava together, they saw the sky together. Like they got to do all these bucket list type of activities together.
Everything that they said they were gonna do.
Yeah, which I thought that was a great touch because I as a reader, I always wondered like, are they ever gonna touch upon that? The fact that Armin's book was such a big part of their lives, like trying to see the outside world. And I'm kind of glad that Isayama gave us that nice touch, even though it was in the paths or in the realm of Ymir. I like that they still touched up on those small details like that, and just to see how Eren revealed everything to Armin and was like, I wanted you guys to be the heroes because if you guys become the heroes, there's no excuse for them to kill you guys. And I'm just like, damn, like he had to do it, and it's just. I guess if I'm looking at it through Armin's point of view, I would feel like a really shitty friend in a sense because like you just don't realize how much Eren was going through knowing the truth after he seen the end. And I mean, even Eren tells him like, yeah, like I knew what was going to happen. And they kind of just touch upon the fact that like it was because when he touched Historia during the medal scene or getting the honorary thing.
Yeah.
And he saw the ending, and I don't know. Did I send you that video like where he touched Historia?
Oh, yeah,
the funny ending.
Yeah, all the panels of that manga and everything.
Yeah, the spoilers.
Yeah,
that's what Eren saw. He saw spoilers.
He knew what was happening.
Yeah, so I think that was a great touch to reveal to readers and to Armin that Eren knew what was going on and that the choices he made, they had to be precise. And it goes back to the beginning to the beginning of season 4 where why Eren left or he kind of went AWOL and went to Marley on his own. He had to do it. And I think with Armin realizing that, Armin kind of just accepted it. And now it gets to the point where we talked earlier where you see the human side of with Eren. He's like, you told Mikasa you hated her. Did you mean that? And he's like, no. He's like, okay, well then how do you feel about her? And then he punches Eren and he's like, you fucker, just fucking say how you feel, man.
Yeah.
Like quit hiding behind your emotions. And that's when Eren breaks down. He's like, I don't want to die. I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave Mikasa.
Yeah.
I don't want to
live.
Yeah. And he's like, man, I love that panel. You just see like this. He's like a kid again. He just doesn't want to go. And
I mean, even if you look at the way they drew, oh crap, what's his name?
Eren's face.
Eren, no, not Eren. Armin's face. The way they drew it, he's just like, oh, okay, like you played it so well. He played like, whoa, well, why didn't you feel that way or show it that way? You know what I mean? Like, he's not like, dude. I mean, he was even shocked. Like, I didn't expect you to say that. He even says that. I didn't expect you to say that. So, and then he's like, I do love her. I don't want to leave. I miss you guys. Everything. So you just see that human side, that kid side of him. Like, I'm not ready. So. And
then just pretty much, they keep talking up to where they become adults again, and Eren just tells him like, you won't remember this conversation until y'all kill me. And so I thought that was in a sense like I thought that was kind of pretty cool that he was able to manipulate their memories using the powers like that. Like, you guys got to kill me to remember this shit.
I will tell you the ending, but you won't remember it until I can see that ending happens. So.
But I do like that, that at the end, they wrap it up, they tie it up. That's why like when Annie was talking to Armin, it made so much more sense now. It was like when Annie's like, yo, Armin, and Armin like just phases. I was like, what's going on? That type of thing where he has like a blank face.
Yeah.
And that was like during a time where Annie was asking like, do you think y'all can kill him?
Yeah.
They did. But you know, after that, Mikasa walks through the smoke, and she has Eren's head. They talk about where to bury him. And then the surviving Marleyans have all their guns pointed to the Eldians. Like, how do we know you guys are human again? And then Armin has to come in and like redeem them and tell them like, yo, I'm the hero. I killed the Attack Titan. I killed Eren Yeager. And then just aftermath. The Yeager's factions come together. Eldians are free from the curse. And there's still a lot of politics going on. And like we were saying earlier in this episode, Eren leaves everything into the hands of the Eldians, into his close friends, and that our core characters, Connie, John, Annie, Reiner, Mikasa, Eren, like they're the diplomats of peace now for the Eldians. And the fact that Historia is still queen, she has to play the part of being a diplomat and trying to make peace for their people, and that's what Eren left behind for them. And it goes, and just to this last scene, the last panels again, right where Mikasa's in that, sitting on that hill where that tree's at, where they started this whole series, and how she's sitting there with the scarf still. You know, she's still wearing that fucking scarf, even though Eren was like, I don't want you to wear that no more when I'm gone. Just get rid of it.
Dirty ass scarf.
I think in the Lost Girl novels or the Lost Girl mangas, they kind of explain like why it's still like she apparently she cleans it very well. It's not just like a dirty scarf. Like she actually cleans it. But I do enjoy the memes though. Like, man, like that scarf she's wearing stank. You know, like years of wearing the same shit. But I do like the fact that Mikasa stayed, I guess in a sense, loyal to Eren still, and she, just seeing the bird wrap the scarf around her, and she kind of just assumes that it's Eren again, and they ended off at that. And I really enjoyed the simplicity of this ending. Like, it was good to just wrap it up that way, keep it that way. I think if they went with the rumbling or they went with war, it would have been too much. I think Isayama did a great job. So what were your thoughts on just that, how they ended that with Mikasa being in the last panel, pretty much being the main character? Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it began and ended the same way. Under the tree, waking up from a dream, and Eren's just like, whoa, what's going on? I loved it. It was perfect ending. It was a happy, I look at it as a happy ending. They do leave room for what ifs. I feel like there's so many areas that they can touch up on, like of what ifs, if they wanted to try to carry it on. But I think the way they ended it was just phenomenal. Like, they just had the perfect ending, happy ending. People got to go on in their ways. Nobody can use the Titans if there's any war, if there's going to be war. So it's a level playing ground. I mean, barring the people that have airplanes now. So, but yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, Eren accomplished what he wanted to do, which was get rid of the Titans, because he didn't want them to be used anymore, and protect the Eldians and everything. So I enjoyed it.
Now, was there anything that you'd like to say about Attack on Titan that you didn't enjoy at all, or you think overall it was just pretty much good?
Gabby. No, I mean, all in all, I think it was good. Like I said, even with the characters like Gabby and whatnot, where you hated them so much because of what their mindset and how they are as a character in this story. This is how they are in this mindset. It drives you insane because, like you said, the real world applications that we see, the crazies, and you're just you get upset about it, but then all you can really do is read it and like, hey, wish you the best, bro. Like,
I think low key she might still be radical like that though. that scene where Falco goes and hugs Gabby, she fucking flips him.
Flips his ass. Hilarious, dude. Yeah, I was reading it and I was like, oh wait, is she throwing him? I was like, she is flipping him. But no, yeah, I mean, all in all, even like I said, those characters, they needed those characters to develop the story the way it is, because if you didn't have Gabby, we wouldn't have the emotional side of losing Sasha, or seeing basically
The opposition.
the opposition, how the Eldians view the island people, just like how they are, because they are genuinely brainwashed and believing that they are the devil. They are these devil people who are the spawn of Satan's offsprings, and so you kind of get that vibe. You're like, there are people who are like that, where you're just like, they genuinely believe this crazy, so.
I kind of wish they touched up more on Falco's character. I really like that he literally is a character that's in the middle. Like he knew he had a different purpose of using the powers of the Titans. Like in the part where Reiner talks about you should protect Gabby from being a Titan, and Falco was like, yeah, I'm going to use my powers to protect my people instead of using it for Gabby wants to use, like, I'm gonna be a warrior, I'm gonna kick all their asses.
But he's trying to do it to protect her.
Yeah, so I really like that Falco was he had a really good sense of justice as a young character. So I kind of wish they touched up more on him. And I'm kind of glad that they written his, he was used for a great reason in the story. Especially when he turns into the bird, that was great foreshadowing for Falco's character, even in this fucking name. He's a fucking bird.
Yeah.
So he was I think he was a great addition to the story, and just I like how they ended off with them being in Marley still, and Levi's in the wheelchair. He's blind in one eye and stuff like that.
Who are those two characters next to him in the wheelchair? Can you tell?
Yeah, that was like an adult version of Gabby and Falco.
Falco, right? Okay.
Yeah, they were the one. They were still with him in the African character, whatever. Yeah. He was still that guy. I'm so glad he was alive. That would have, how fucked it would have been if they killed off the only black character in the story.
I'm telling you, man.
I would have not honestly, it's not a race. I would not have enjoyed that, because you finally show a diverse group of people. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad Isayama didn't go with that stereotype where they got rid of the black character. I'm glad that he still stayed, and that he wasn't as much of his importance, but it was just to show that there was other people out there. But I kind of wish, honestly, for me personally, I felt like they should have shown more diverse characters, or more like African characters, or because they really just showed him that's the only African guy, and then the Japanese lady who was the only Asian lady there.
Well, I mean, technically, I think the Ackermans are supposed to be Asians in a sense. That's why
it's only Mikasa that's Asian.
Oh, is it?
Levi is not Asian.
Levi does have chinky eyes, bro.
My joke on Levi is he's Hmong. He's short. He's got the split hair. He's little. he's a Hmong guy.
He just kicks.
Yeah, he just kicks. He's a Hmong guy, dude. He's Hmong.
I think I agree with you too. The diversity too. I mean, they I guess they try to show it in their own way, because even they did draw some characters with kind of the Aladdin get up, with the hat and whatnot. So I'm assuming that's their attempt at drawing Persian people or something, or the people in Aladdin.
There's more people outside of the walls.
Exactly.
I wish, honestly, I felt I really wish that they touched on more on this, though, because that way it would have give readers a more, in a sense, relatable feeling of diversity, and not just diversity for the fact of representation, but the fact is Eldians weren't alone in the world. They weren't.
It's a world.
Yeah, it's not just Marleyans and Eldians. There's practically, the world is still the same.
Exactly. You're just seeing their story, but then the world being affected by it.
Yeah. So that would have been a great touch up too, to see how the other countries react. Oh shit, Eren's, what the fuck's going on the other side of the country? With the rumbling and shit.
Yeah, I mean, even correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I remember reading one of the chapters where they were like, "Oh, why is this guy's skin darker than all these other ones?" Or what I mean?
That's what Sasha said to
yeah. Exactly. It shows their innocenceness of wow, there are different shades, there are different people out here, And so I wish they did dive deeper into that, because if they're just being exposed to it right now, it opens their mindset to hey, there are other people out here besides us, So
yeah, I like that though. They did how they did that with Sasha. She's like, Why is your skin so dark? Like,
Yeah, this is
and,
amazing.
and the memes on Twitter were hilarious. Though they're like, "Yo, Sasha's low key racist. She doesn't know black people."
Okay, then you gotta ask yourself, like, maybe they did know black people, and then like them
I
in
think
it.
it was just probably like a gag on the
Yeah,
internet.
I
You
mean,
know,
all
like,
a gag, but then
like
like,
all these memes. Like, there was even this one meme where like Sasha's on the news and they're like, you know, so you don't know black people. They're asking, they're questioning her. But like that, but the thing that plays well with Sasha's character too, with her character too, like how dorky she is. Like she's very just unaware of what's around her. Like she's as like superstitious as she is with her animal instincts, her human instincts. Like she's very airhead, like a big airhead. Like she doesn't know.
yeah, everything like that. So that's what made her like a likable character too. So
You have any final thoughts, Bobby, about Attack on Titan? Then, since we're practically wrapped up here with just the ending, is there anything you like to add on or talk about Attack on Titan?
I mean, like I said, it's great ending. I mean, those who haven't read the manga, I would recommend you go and read the manga because if they stick true to their schedule, you got another year before you catch anything. So it's good luck, man. I remember waiting, what was it, 2 years before they released second season or something like
I
that?
think it was like 5.
Oh, was it 5? God,
Yeah.
that was a long time. So, I mean, I would recommend everybody, if you get a chance, go read it. It's not the same, I agree, but the storyline itself is great. You still feel connected with everything. All in all, they did great, I think. I mean, great ending. I enjoyed it. Happy ending, in my opinion. Sucks that Eren had to die, but I mean, he accomplished his main goal, setting the world free of the Titans. So he hated the Titans so much. Even you feel the passion from episode 1, how much he hated the Titans and how much he wanted to get rid of them. And at the end, he accomplished his mission. So,
yeah, I think all in all, I really enjoy, like, not just saying it as a fanboy or like someone who's obsessed with Attack on Titan. I think all in all, this story was phenomenal. It's just, again, there's so many things that you can use to relate to as real world realisms and just seeing how realistic these characters could be. Like, who would have thought that like these fictional characters would think and feel like how we are today, and just, and that's what I loved about this series, was like there was still enough fiction for it to for us to enjoy, but like it's like there's like the hidden in between the lines, like there's like they really ask you, they ask the readers like to question yourselves. There's one quote that I love from Captain Irwin. He's like, who do you think the real enemies are? And he walks off from Eren. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I said too much. And like, something simple like that. Man, I loved how they did that. And for me as a reader and as a viewer, I love that scene because it really does make you question, like, man, is what you're doing the right thing? And I even made this post on Facebook. I don't remember exactly how I wrote it, but I wrote it as like, is fighting for your sense of justice someone else's like opposition type of thing, because everyone has their own sense of what's right and what's wrong, and that there's no good guy or bad guy when it comes to war or when it comes to being right. And it comes down to even to today's society, where you see like how we're still in somewhat of a war, or like how cancel culture and diversity, a lot of these issues in our society today, how everyone wants to be right, but no one's willing to take the time to listen to each other and figure out like these perspectives. And that's, again, with Falco's character, I think that's what Falco brought to the table, was that this kid was willing to listen to both sides of the story. He didn't say you guys are devils. He didn't say like Marleyans are right. He was like, oh shit, like we're all kind of just fucked up in a sense.
Yeah, he took the chance to want to understand. That's what we need in this world too.
And I think, with Attack on Titan, they've written that so well, and I really do hope that viewers or even listeners or people who read the manga like take this to heart, because it something like the story has impacted my life tremendously from the past 8 to 9 years of reading this. And again, the only manga that's really affected me like this was Naruto, and Attack on Titan, man, it's a whole different thing, man. It really is, and just to kind of grow up with this story, it was really sad to close the last chapter or to close this story, because as someone who loves this story, like just this whole week before reading this final chapter, dude, I was dreading it. I was dreading the days. I was like, yo, man, I'm about to really like close this part of my life, and finally, like, there's gonna be no more waiting of their story. There's no more like what's after. It's done. You know, like
The end of the chapter.
yeah,
I know that feeling. I hate it.
that's it. You know, I hate that feeling, and like I guess for me, this is gonna get a little personal, but I really suck with like closure. So even with fictional characters, like I'm not trying to let the shit go, you know, like no, don't leave me type thing. Not in a bad way, but it's like, you know, I really enjoyed this story. Like this is something that I was like, yo, man, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm right there with you too.
But man, overall, man, this is phenomenal. If you have not read the Attack on Titan manga, again, like me and Bobby said, please do. Just fucking do it. Because you won't get the second part of season 4 until either later this year or even early next year. You'll have so much time to read this shit, and look, it's so intense in the manga. You'll blaze through these 45-page chapters easily. Yeah,
I did, and I kept reading, and I breezed through them too. So.
But yeah, I guess this is pretty much it for this Attack on Titan manga review. I know, like I've said before, we weren't going to go over the whole story or the entire ending. We just wanted to touch upon the manga overall and just say our thoughts on the story and pretty much just go over the last chapter, since that's the most fresh thing right now. And I really hope that if you guys do enjoy this, and if you guys made it this far, please help like, share, and subscribe to Spoiler Force Podcast. Check out the other episodes that I have that are like, you know, review episodes and stuff like that too. If you like Demon Slayer, I did the Demon Slayer manga review with two of my other cousins. I mean, like I haven't, and it makes it weird because like I didn't really do Attack on Titan reviews before when I first started. I was still reading the manga chapters, but I never really like took time to break down season by season. So check out the other reviews that I have in the archive for Spoiler Force Podcast. But again, thank you, Bobby, for making time to do this, man. I was so excited to have you on the podcast for the first time. You know, we have other cousins that I'm going to reach out to eventually to have them on. But I knew that with this one, I had to have you on since you read the manga too. And definitely, man, we got to do another one soon. We'll talk about, I don't know what you like, cars and your motorcycle.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on. At first, when you asked me to come on, I was like, I don't even like my opinion on the manga. I tell you everything. I honestly, like, I reach out to you for your opinion. You know, whenever I read something, I'm like, yo, Ricky, what do you think about this? You know, so it was a great honor to be here. I definitely enjoyed it. We definitely would come back anytime you want me to come back. I mean, just let me know what you want to talk about. I'll do a little research. You know, I'll spit my own too. You know. For
sure, man. I'll definitely I'll give you a heads up. It doesn't even have to be about like nerdy topics. We could talk about like cosplay or like dogs or something for one episode. And speaking of dogs, there you go. All right. But yeah, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Bobby, for doing this. This is episode 88 of Spoiler Force Podcast. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. And follow the other social media accounts and follow the Twitch account too. I again, if you're listening to this episode, I do live episodes from time to time, so please check in on that too. And thank you guys, and have a great day. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, and rate Spoiler Force Podcast. If you have any guest recommendations, comments, questions, concerns, or criticism, you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com or message me online on any of my social media platforms. Want to listen to more pop culture themed podcasts? Then check out the Epic Sewers Podcast Network. There are shows like the Epic Tales from the Sewers, the Comic Watcher Show, What's in My Head Podcast, and Spoiler Force Podcast. Make sure to follow us each on social media and find us on any major podcasting platform. Thank you for the support.